In 2004, the US infantry found themselves engaging in some of their bloodiest battles ever, fighting an insurgent force for the city of Fallujah.
Civilian population left. The city of 350,000 was basically a ghost town with about 4,000 to 5,000 insurgents in there.
Get ready, go!
We were hunting them, and then day 2, they were hunting us. They were ready to kill Americans and die in jihad. Understand that by the time Fallujah hit, I'd been in country for 10 months. So my naivete of what combat was came down to reality. We were hardened veterans of combat, from Najaf to Baquba to towns called Muqtadiyah, Tel Afar. My unit fought in pretty much every major battle in Iraq itself. So we had the up-close, personal, house-to-house fighting. We knew what it was like to take life, and we knew what it was like to lose our own. We lost 17 up to that point. So we were bloody. I lost my company commander, my sergeant major, my executive officer hours apart in street fighting in Fallujah. When you lose that leadership, these young kids are just looking for something. And if you can't instantly say, you know what, we got them back, you're gonna lose them. You're gonna lose them. There has to be a daily inventory that's taken on how are we doing, what's the enemy disposition, and how are we doing? Are we killing more of them than they're killing us? Because you lose their spirit, you've lost them altogether.
The US troops found themselves battling an insurgent force made up of fighters from all over the world.
We were up against a global all-star team of Islamist aggression. We took passports off guys from the Philippines, from Chechnya, Saudi, the Sudan, France. You name it, they were there. And they had their passports and they had American currency. These insurgents in Fallujah had interpreters with them. I mean, it was like, and they had their own combat cameramen as well. It was like they had little small cells of our own military. We cheapen our enemy when we talk about them being farmers or goat herders. These are extremely well-versed and well-trained and rehearsed warriors that we're fighting. And I was a little shocked at how sophisticated their death traps were. My 29th birthday, we basically got the call to take out a city block with 6 to 8 bad guys. Our guys walk in, kick down the door, go in, 30 homes, nothing. Finally, in one of the second last houses, we kick in the door, and they just opened up on us with belt-fed machine guns.
Bellavia and his men walked into an ambush and took instant casualties.
They were barricaded in. They had a Jersey barrier, which is a concrete structure, and it was underneath a stairwell. So they actually was like a pillbox, and they just had their machine guns up there and smiling at us the whole time, eyes as big as sand dollars. And they just started cutting our guys up, taking casualties. Our guys are screaming out for medic and help, and the insurgents are mimicking that scream for help. They're screaming, "Mommy, mommy, help me," and, you know, medic, my eyes, my stomach, I'm dying. I wanted that revenge. I wanted to be that leader that I promised I'd be. Like a light switch, it went off. I felt that this was a spiritual battle for me. I want to be John Wayne. That's who I am. That's what I'm all about. You know what? I took a machine gun and, man, those 200 rounds went so quick. You know, I wanted it to just kind of last a while to suppress them. Our guys got out. I ended up literally looking down the barrel of just rounds coming right at my face.
Bellavia was engaging enemy fighters throughout the house. Going close quarters with his M4, he was hitting targets, but the insurgents kept coming. The reason? Most of them are high on stimulants.
They used atropine and epinephrine, and we're on Folgers crystals and Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? So we can't match that, you know, but you have to almost become crazed in the sense that, you know, look me in the eye, I'm going after him, you're with me, let's go. You know, this is what we were destined to do. And in the moment, that's very much rational. In the moment, that's what it's all about. 2 years back, you're like, well, who was that person? Who, you know, I'm a father and a soccer coach now. You know, who was that guy kicking down doors? But back then, it wasn't about family. It wasn't about, I wasn't a dad, I wasn't a husband, I was a warrior. And it was about taking those guys out, and if it took my life, so be it. But those guys were dying, and my kids were coming home. That's what my, order of importance was at that time. I'm hitting them over and over and over again, and these guys are just coming after me like zombies. I hit a guy in the chest, I hit a guy center mass. I had to hit the pelvis to get them to stop running. I had to hit bone, I had to hit face shots. I had to hit him in the heart repeatedly to stop them going. I got an alcove of a wall protecting me, and I can hear like the scuffle of feet, windbreaker pants, and they're literally just creeping, and they start whispering to me. They call me a Jew, said that they're gonna cut my head off, and that my mommy's not gonna find my dog tags, that they'll never find my body. I mean, the fear is just unbelievable.
The insurgents moved up to the next level of the house, and Bellavia decided to stay hot on their heels.
We exchanged fire on the landing, and he ran into a room. I hit him in the head with the grenade, and it goes off to the side and blows off into a bunch of mattresses.
With no more ammunition, Bellavia realized he now had to fight for his life with his bare hands.
He's got a chunk of his arm missing, and I just went after him like a baseball player, and we're just nailing each other. Blow to blow. He hit me with an AK-47. My dad's a dentist. I get knocked in the teeth and knock out a tooth, and I'm thinking, my dad's gonna kill me. You know what I mean? Like the irrational thoughts that come into your mind during this moment. We're rolling on the ground. I'm literally subduing him with my helmet. It's the only thing I had. My helmet, just beating him in the face with the helmet. And a .45 pistol just goes off. And I'm like, he's got that pistol, I'm done. I gotta get to my rifle, gotta get to his AK something. And at that point, I realized I had a knife. And that knife is the only thing that was gonna make me live. And the blade went in, hit his collarbone, cut me. And then the second time, I just felt the warmth, just a pressure of warmth come out. As he was bleeding out, he caressed my face, and he gave me a smile. And he basically said, I just said, stop. And he said, no. And he smiled. And for a long time, I thought he was like forgiving me for what I had to do. And maybe he was thanking me for bringing him to paradise or whatever that. But it was creepy. His eyes went dim. They locked right onto me.
Bellavia was awarded the Silver and Bronze Stars and recommended for the Medal of Honor for his actions in Iraq. But for him, life will never be the same.
There's no innocence anymore, you know what I mean? You know, every time you hear about a death in Iraq, you know what it looks like, you know what it smells like. The rest of my life, I was gonna see that stupid son of a bitch's face looking at me for the rest of my life. I was gonna be haunted by that. I've had better birthdays for sure, I'm unapologetic about it because it was about survivability. It was about, my soldiers, about myself. But at the same time, man, I would like to be able to not look in the mirror and see the wrinkles and the age. I mean, I was pretty young looking. I felt young, and now I feel like I'm 70 years old every day, Everyone changes in combat, Question is do you appreciate life more? And I do. I appreciate the gift that I have. All your awards, you take those awards, give them to people who need awards. There are people that need that. Every day is Memorial Day. Every day I remember my friends, but every day I got my sons and my wife, and it's like, thank you, it's a gift. And that's all I care about. That is the number one thing, is the opportunity to drink a cup of coffee, to see my family, to be secure. When so many people right now are in an insecure environment, I'm safe, and I'll take that any day of the week, man.